きな声で言うことではないかもしれませんが、単純に備わったあれだそれスイートランドのいわばあれだそれ、そんなこんなで起こるハプニング、あっという間に僕のエンディング。謝って悩んで困ってしまってどうしようって何もできない無常。0.02mm の壁が透けもどかしくなって真っ赤なサンシャインすぐに入れたくなるのは気のせいじゃんとか、そんな気分で迎えた君と僕そんなヘブンでしまったってもうだってもうそういう outside inside out I didn't think you are my coming no coming oh no 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 inside outside world I didn't think you are my coming you are coming。待ってこれって僕のせいなまでいいよって言った君のせい、そして5分で終わるテストって信憑性かけるもんだって、しっかり刻まれた十字架に貼り付けられた僕は切り捨てになったって無理って分かっているってどうしようって何もできない。 0.02mm の壁がすげえ悩ましくなってます。サンシャインすぐに入れたくなるのは僕のせい。大丈夫とかそんな気分で外しょうもないこんな身分で泣いてって怒ったってあとどう祭り I'm inside now Are you ready? I've been hunting you be coming No 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 say so progress boy I got free I've been hunting you be coming Yeah 遠い夏の思い出君の長い髪やお祭りとけしれん NG どうでもいいけどマカロンが食べたくて食べたくて3時のやつにマカロン食べたい待ってこれって僕の背中に出してって言った君のせいとして5分で終わるテストって絶対的にあるんだって。10日ばかりの運命を支配している僕は神様になれない無理って分かっていて結局何も解決してない。0.02mm の壁がすげえもどかしくなって真っ白サンシャインすぐに入れたくなるのは君のせいじゃんとかそんな気分で迎えた君と僕そんなヘブンで始まったってもうだってもうそういう Outside inside out I didn't think you are my coming no coming Oh no 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 inside outside world I didn't think you are my coming you were coming No touch my inside now Are you ready? I've been hunting you be coming up No 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 say so backwards boy I get feeling I've been hunting you be coming Yeah come on Na 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 You should make your mind
やりたくなることはいけないことばかりどうしてダメなのか尋ねてもわかりませんパンダマが本当ごめんちっちゃく迷惑ばかりの俺はペラペラの意見ショット時当然ビリビリやってよこれみんなが言ういい子な歌になれないしなりたくもないあれから見るとかこれから見るときのまあ考えつくもんだ常識を取り替えんなど届くとまだ PTA質問です。何ですか？黙りなさい。どうしてなんですか？うるさい。黙りなさい。ほど表だけの真面目ずれそういうものにはふとする精神認識なければないことに真面目な生徒だけないものねだりゃ退屈なテレビの向こうは今日もぶ抜けた話題ばかり ってないだろう勝手な持論を押し付けんじゃない知れたい本当うさったいやかましいわ PTA ちょっと黙ってろ PTA ギャーギャー騒ぐな PTA 抜きになんじゃない PTA 引っ込んでろ PTA あれから見るとこれから見るとよっぱかんない質問だあれもできないしこれもできないしやるなと言われりゃ余計にさあれもやりたいしこれもやりたい正々堂々やったるわ好きに歌わせろ好きに笑わせろ文句があんなのかかってこいとっととくたばる PTA
What's up, gamers? God, this thing is so loud! Why is it so loud? Hang on. I swear, it doesn't seem like it's that loud when I have music and everything else playing, but then I get over here and only hear my own voice in this. I mean, it's kind of like torture. Okay, hi everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good Momo. Hi Leo, hi Henry, hi Polaris, hi Genevieve, hi Corey, how's it going? Oh boy. So, we've got another demo tonight.
I'm here.
I am an original. Wait, hi, thank you so much for the follow. You followed during the starting screen. I was like walking away to get my drink. Hi, welcome in. So yeah, this is a demo called Spell Candle. So this game is currently being funded on Kickstarter. They've got like half of their funding already done and they still have like a couple of weeks to go, so it's looking pretty good. Do you get Midnight McDonald's? Not unless you're planning on getting some for me. Hi, Leo!
25
and 25,
Magica
wow!
145 Helltaker Magica
But yeah, this one
145
is,
Helltaker Magica 145 Helltaker 25 Eternities of Momo.
I can never
Magical
think
100
whenever she's saying words. So this one is just gonna be a demo. This one's gonna be on the shorter side. But, it has a couple of different options. So, it is a dating sim still, but this one, I mean, every one that we've played so far has not just been, like, a straight up and down dating sim. They've all had some kind of thing with them. Whether it be making funny, donuts or whatever it may be. This one specifically, you're supposed to be starting out. Your character, you get to decide your backstory, but no matter what your backstory is, you're supposed to have just lost someone incredibly, incredibly dear to you. And then you stumble into, like, maybe not stumble in, maybe we just exist in a fantasy world and we find hot fantasy men. I don't exactly know, that's why we're playing the demo! The high player has it going. I just got paid, don't tempt me, my order's somewhere, I don't know. Alright. How far are you willing to go to contain war in a glass dome? How many parents would you be willing to sacrifice? How many brothers would you kill? Would you grow numb to the pain? Become a zealous leader, willing to sacrifice anything for the greater good? Wait, Momoka, you're familiar with Cherami Lei. She's Makoto Persona 5. She's A2, and yeah, she was in fact Rose Lalonde. She was in fact. I did hear her voice. Alright, can we talk for a second? The only thing I'm grieving right now is is what joy I had growing up. Why? Why did they do that to us? Why? Not to shit on the people who made it. They're incredibly talented people. They did good work, but I don't know. That just was not. That was not it. That was not it. I don't know how it's to explain it. It's like I would kill my brother for free. Damn, Henry. It's just like staring at Dave and being like, I want to simultaneously be like, he would not say that, but like, if he was written in 2024, yeah, he would say that. So I'm mad, but at the same time, it's like, no! Make up your mind, is this 2009 or not? Not even a Klondike bar. I think that's what messes me up, actually. Yeah, it's like, okay, this does feel like it's got that spirit, but it feels like it's trying to be something old, but adapting it to something new, but it's something that's still relatively young that doesn't need to be adapted for a new audience, I guess. It feels fucking weird. It's like, okay, why are you remaking this? Hi, Tia! How's it going? Hi, Lyle Clark, thank you. Swim a 20-foot pool and wait, 45 laps. Jesus Christ, is like swimming like your hobby or something? My goodness, you do this for sport? What's being remade? Nothing. Homestuck Homestuck has an anime now. You love to swim. I mean, as long as you enjoy it, then. Are they rewriting Homestuck? No, they're not rewriting it. Like, Hussey still had a hand in writing this pilot. There's just so many things that I'm confused about with it. Like, again, it's very much the vibe of, like, seeing Dave and being like, bitch, he would not say that. But he would if it was modern day. But it feels like they should have just placed it back when it was in 2009. Because that's what they were trying to do. But the writing, it's like, no, he would not say Mig. No, that not in this day and age. No. What's happening? Wait, Jade is Tails? Jesus Christ. I have a game to play. Hang on. I can't be getting mad about Homestuck. I'm fucking 30 years old. I'm not 14 anymore. Oh god. Turn a blind eye to the orphans on the streets. Ignore those disabled begging for coin. Steal, bribe, and extort for a chance at peace. Wait, Hype Train? How did the Hype Train start? Twitch, are you tripping? How many decisions would leave you lying awake at night, counting the souls you sent to the slaughter? Can living in war for millennia truly be considered life? A loud whistle breaks the silence, rendering the carriage to a sudden stop. Oh, that's a horse! The tip of my quill shatters as it smashes into the paper before I can put down my next thought on the page. Like, identity control! I think Twitch is tripping. 50. Thank you for the funny triangles. Horse, yeah, I think Twitch is tripping. It's like, wait, what? Why am I getting a Hype Train from? Nothing's happening. I mean, cool, thanks, I guess, but what? The shout comes from the outside, and I put my notepad down, scoffing at the ruined nib. This is the third one today, and I'm tempted to throw my hands up in frustration and scream. Was selected to be the Aracian delegation's reporter for this year's Dread Festival? It should be considered a great honor, and to be able to report on your country's political victories, no matter how small. Yeah, one sub in it's weird. Okay, that's not the only thing weird that happened tonight. I'm guessing Twitch is just being fucky-wucky, because y'all know how this usually goes, right? I have a, 10-minute something starting screen, and then the first minute has to go by, and then after that it runs 3 minutes of ads. That way, hopefully, by the time everybody sees my Go Live post, nobody has to come in and see the ads. Today it ran 6 minutes, and I don't know how or why. I thought once it ran 3 minutes, it couldn't run ads again for another hour. But no, it fucking doubled them today, and I'm pissed about it. Like, what the fuck? What is happening? Ugh. You can't expect a caged bird to sing happily. I reach into my leather satchel to find my identification documents before stepping out of my petite carriage. I feel... Oh, okay, here we go. What do I feel? Pleased by the chance to stretch my legs, annoyed that I have to go through this. Curious to finally get a peek at the outside, or enthusiastic that we've likely almost reached our destination. Ooh. Probably pretty happy that I'd be able to stretch my legs. I hate being in car for too long. But just a few feet ahead is an elven woman is going through the papers of an older gentleman from our contingent. And what role do you fulfill within this delegation? Her voice is like a sharp-pointed end of an ancient spear. I'm the senator representing the region of the Beastlands. The elf sniffs the air around the delegate and frowns. She's beautiful. Glimmering mercury eyes peek out from underneath short bangs the color of milky quartz. Her skin, like deep iron ore, glitters gently in the rays of daylight. After a very thorough read of the man's identification document, she hands them back to him without a word. I find myself nervous as the elf's long, knife-like ears twitch and her attention shifts to me. I'd never seen anything like it. Her cold gaze examines me from head to toe before she reaches a hand out. Identification documents? I hand them over and she scans through them quickly. Oh, okay, yeah. Hi, I'm Momo. Ah. There you go. What role do you wish to fulfill? I was selected by the Empire to take an account of the Dread Festival for an article. I'm here to report on the mutually beneficial relationship between our nations. Writing a positive piece about Quillers? I have no idea how to say that. For leadership, I plan to record our general's involvement in foreign affairs for our newspaper. It did say we had a Dread Festival at the beginning, so I'll go with that. Yeah, I'm here to write about a Dread Festival or some shit like that. Her eyebrows raise slightly at my response. After a moment, she nods, accepting my explanation. And your general? Where could I find him? The question perplexes me. Though the delegation had been traveling for several weeks, I hadn't encountered the infamous Shadow Master once. Had I? Upon seeing my bewildered expression, the elf offers a small explanation. He was not in his carriage. Perhaps because he got bored of being confined in a turbulent box for days? A voice responds before I can open my mouth to formulate an apology. I step back from the carriage and seek out its source. Oh, okay. Upon the wooden roof of my small carriage relaxed one of the most beautiful gentlemen I'd ever seen. With his eyes closed, his expression was so serene that I found myself wondering if I'd misheard him speak. Shadow Master, may day and night preserve you. Oh, this is this guy's the Shadow Master? Okay. The man on the roof of my carriage opened his eyes and leveled the woman with a cold gaze. His eyes were the color of the flags of our empire. Oh god, we're the fucking Fire Nation! The color of blood and dangerous forbidden things. Lattimore? So I could hear the elven woman swallow from beside me so vividly that I wondered if the world around us had fallen quiet on purpose. May I please see your documents, General? Damn. She's got balls if she knows who the man is to ask for his documents. A frown crosses his features before he quietly sat up, slid his feet over the edge of the carriage, and jumped down with the grace of a cat. Here. He pushed a stack of documents that was so thick into the hands of the elf that it made me gape. Might take you a few days. He smirked and I wondered where on himself he kept a pocket large enough to hold all that paper. The elf blinked, scanned through the first few pages, then flipped through the next few with shaky hands, her face growing paler by the second. I'm gonna watch him, hang on, I want to see his face as she freaks out. Let's see, the political leader of our delegation crosses his arms behind his back, his expression neutral as he scans the surrounding environment. I feel my breath hitch as his gaze passes over me for a split second. The elf suddenly thrusts the pages at the general and gives him a shaky nod and thank you before wobbling off to the next carriage. What the fuck did she read? What was in that paperwork? Was that necessary? The man's notorious crimson gaze turns to me. She asked for my papers. He shrugged. Was it my fault that she wasn't ready for what was on them? What is on those papers? Hang on, somehow this behavior does little to surprise me. Might have been considerate to let her know beforehand or fall aside. Let her know what? And why would you do that? I don't know! I'm curious! His eyebrows rose in challenge and I found myself searching for a response to give him. Because you're the Shadow Master? You think the ever-powerful elven aspects don't know which general is being sent into their city as a peace tribute every year? I blinked at his response. That's fair. An uncomfortable silence falls over us, and I notice the way his gaze wanders down below my waist, scrutinizing me. A frown crosses his lips. I follow his eyes, and... Ah, fuck! The inkwell I had left on the seat beside me must have spilled when the carriage came to a halt! He's staring pointedly at a large black stain on the side of my pants. I hope you're not planning on wearing that to the welcome dinner. I might have been planning on it! I highly suggest not embarrassing yourself or the Empire by doing so. Yeah, Chief, whatever you say. I won't. The look he gave me was one of complete apathy. I grit my teeth. A loud, high-pitched whistle traveled from the gates ahead of us. Someone is giving us the all-clear. Click of metallic hinges echo in the air, and I take it as my sign to return to the peace of my small carriage. I hope you have a good day, General. There wasn't a single sincere word in that sentence. He raised a set of eyebrows as I stepped into my carriage. A set of eyebrows? Are you implying he has more than one? Making sure to avoid the spilled ink, I turned around and shut the door in his face. A childish reaction, but his expression was well worth it. With blood pounding in my ears, I found a clean place to sit before the carriage resumed its movement shortly after. Entering Omnis, the city of Candlewax. Candlewax? The capital city of the elves. Alright. I find myself eagerly peeking out through the window, making a continuous effort to forget the fact that I may have just angered one of the most dangerous men on the eastern continent. My eyes wander between the many tall buildings made of marble, adorned with golden embellishment, before lingering on the rectangular houses with roofs assembled from slabs of multicolored quartz. They're illuminated by the withdrawing river of light, the path of the goddess of day. All structures bask in the warm rays, coloring in various shades of brilliant oranges and golds. It's a breathtaking view. We pass under a long archway of stone upon which I can hear the bubbling of running water. Dozens of half-burnt candles of sundry colors and sizes sit atop each physical surface. I find myself itching to see what these streets look like at night. My thoughts quickly bring me back to the journal in my lap. Quickly, I fetch a new quill from my bag and note down my initial impressions. After several days of travel, our delegation has finally arrived at Omnis, the legendary elven capital. The gates were guarded strictly and our official documents and identities were checked for validity. This year, the Great Empire's leading envoy for the peace celebration is the Shadow Master. He's a considerate leader, or he sports a unique brand of charm? I don't know that he's considerate. I don't know anything about this guy. Yeah, it's a unique brand of charm that inspires the awe of everyone around him. Like a hurricane or some other horrible natural disaster. Yeah, there we go. He has a way with words. I'm blessed to be able to experience the elves' exhaustion when around him. I don't know how to read anymore. I'm tired. I'm really tired. At least I'm not the only one terrified of this monster. We meander through the roads for another 20 minutes before the carriage comes to a final stop in front of the only building that looks terribly out of place. The tall rectangular pagoda that serves as the Ares Empire's embassy at Omni. As I disembark, I spot the general already disappearing past the red curtains. He doesn't spare me a glance. Reading is hard, you're right, Rizzo. It's really hard. Also, hi, Rizzo. Enjoy your nap in the corner. I'm given a small but pleasantly furnished room in the embassy and quickly ditch my pack in there before heading out into the city. Okay, hang on. Oh no, they blurred the statues in the background. Those look cool. Let me TikTok go hi. Thank you for the head pat. Thank you. All right. I need to find a tailor somehow. A tailor? Oh, I guess they would be able to... I guess they're just gonna make me something new to wear. Let's see. I can follow a trail of the most expensive looking buildings. Tag after the most lavishly dressed elves on Main Street. I take a map of the city from the embassy to help orient me, or I ask her. I would take a map. I'd take a fucking map. What the fuck is with dude, look at these statues! This is giving me the same vibes I'd get from, like, fucking, why am I blanking on it now? At the end of Drakengard 3! You know the fucking rhythm game in the sky? That's what that feels like! Just looking at that, that's what that reminds me of. Okay, the map itself isn't as detailed as I'd like, but I can make out the names of the districts of Omni, as well as a couple of points of interest. I decided to take a look around the Enclave of the Gods, the area of the Earth Elves first, since I'd read so much about how lavishly they'd lived. It takes me about 15 minutes of walking and skulking around weird alleyways before I spot a cylindrical structure of rose marble. Two golden curtains embroidered with large designs of a spool with pink string hung from around its wide-open double doors. Dark letters spell out the words, "The Hour of the Golden Ones," right above the entrance of the building. Looks like something Kefka would have commissioned. Oh, this is fancy looking. The gentle strum of a mandolin came from inside, heart-wrenching, intense, soulful, and yet somehow welcoming. I step inside, yet find myself incapable of spotting a single worker. At least not until three shadows of varying sizes shift from behind a caravan of curtains. They speak in some language I do not recognize. I would wait patiently until I am noticed. I would not draw attention to myself. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait quietly, watching the outline shift behind the curtains.
Oh, shit!
How dare you? Yes, hi! Alright, I'll take it back. Not how dare you. You get one free one. Now I get my water. How's it going, bird? Alright, a customer? The medium shadow queries. Smells like it. The small silhouette, short and stubby, moved to face my direction. Its voice high-pitched and snippy. Now is not a good time. I frowned, but I wasn't gonna give up that easily. I'm alive despite their best efforts. I feel that, brother. I need an outfit for a party tonight in the Eurasian Embassy, please. I kept my tone polite, but I knew an undertone of desperation had slipped in. I didn't want to see the general smug expression directed at me tonight. A short silence followed, filled only by the gentle strum of the mandolin. We're busy and... That's... That sounds like a very, very big scary kitty. Oh, goodness. Helper! Okay, the command rolled through the chamber with a low rumble. I felt myself tense as the tallest figure turned to face me from behind the curtain. But, Natura! The growl grew louder. As you wish! The tone was reverent, obedient. Language now fully switched to common. Oh, alright. The caravan of curtains rustled as a short elf that looked to be within the late years of his lifespan stepped out to help me. Right this way. I was quickly led behind another small caravan. I am... Cupio? One of the designers of the Hour of the Golden Ones, in your extra hand to look your best today. Will you be needing help undressing? The question caught me off guard. I will politely refuse. Thank you, but no thank you. I am perfectly fine getting dressed myself. Okay, not surprisingly accepting of my choice. Very well then. I will see what we have that will fit your body while you disrobe. Drape yourself in the plush blanket on the Davenport if you're feeling bare. And do not be concerned, we change them after each client that refuses to take it home with them. What? Before I could process his words, the elf had made his way outside of my changing area. It didn't take long before several beautiful outfits were brought to me. Cupio made his mission to look everywhere but at my body as he delivered them and exited. His regard for my wishes put me at ease as I tried on the outfits one by one. Free blanket! Yeah, free blanket. Do any of these suit your fancy? A racy blue and white drape dress with a beautiful belt made of pearls. A conservative black cotton toga that sticks to my curves / muscles. Oh, it lets me choose which one I have, but only those two. Okay. A leather two-piece, a blouse with matching pants, or a ceremonial red and white robe of silk with a black embroidered sash. I mean, I don't... You need help getting undressed? Genevieve? Where's the water bottle? Where's the spray bottle? Wait, no, my other one. Hang on, wait. That's right. I forgot. I have a hammer for that. That's what that's for. Okay, let's see. I mean, what am I? Okay. I was about to say, like, what am I wearing right now? What if I'll base it off of that? But that's a bad idea, because you want to know what I'm fucking actually wearing? All of them are the exact same color, mind you. I'm literally just wearing, like, a t-shirt, my underwear, and some socks, and it's the fucking slut shirt from Valhalla. Like, I guess I'm going with racy and blue. The soft material is sheerer than expected, but it flows around my body in a way that makes me part my lips in surprise. It's as if it was made for me. The pearl belt cinches the waist in a way that brings attention to all of my best features. Well, I don't got pearls, but I do got a lot of pretty little beads on my dress. A great choice. Taylor appraises the way the item of clothing sits upon my frame. Is this the outfit to your liking? I mean, I can't see it, but sure. Lovely, now please follow me to the lockbox. Lockbox? I nod and exit through the heavy curtain to join the small elf at the pay desk, not expecting the looming figure that pushed past the Paragon across from mine. Oh! I find myself face to face with a being unlike any I've ever seen before. A tall cross between man and monster with a powerful body and a rich skin tone. That's the kitty we heard, I think. I think that's the cat we heard. Yeah, his nipples do kind of have smiley faces. Oh no. Oh no! Why his nipples out? As I look up at him, his eyebrows jump up in surprise before his lips twist into a tameless smile. Seems like I made the correct choice. Excuse me? Getting you dressed. His voice was like a low purr, and I find my cheeks heating as he made show of admiring my outfit of choice. You're stunning. Thank you? A large tail swishes back and forth behind him as he tilts his head to one side. Do you make that? Do you have a habit of that? I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for such noble work. Lately, the only people I happen to assist are my subordinates by doing the stacks of paperwork on my desk. They've had to change that damn thing 3 times this year already. Are you a public servant of some sort? Pretty much. This guy has to go clock into his 9 to 5? His bold outfit choice had me assume he was a famed exotic dancer or performer. The thought had made my mind travel in a direction that was anything but innocent, but I was almost glad when he changed the topic. Now to do my job as a public servant by covering your bill. Giving me little chance to respond, the creature... Wait, don't call him the creature! That feels rude! The creature moved to stand in front of the tailor. Oh, I mean, thank you, but that's unnecessary! I hurriedly stepped even closer to Kukyo, who looked between me and the tall man, now behind me, uncertainly. Do you always fight back this hard when somebody tries to helping you out? I know I've given him a weird look when his smile widens, showing a pair of sharp top canine. I want to see the teethy! Let me see them teethies! Let me see them! Ah! That's not enough of a good look, but I'll take it. An amused hum leaves his lip, and I find myself wondering, what is it he gleaned from this curt line of questioning? This isn't a battle you need to fight. Your purchase is on me. Considering it a gift from the Terra of the Elves. I freeze in place as the tall creature crosses his arms in front of his chest, refusing to take no for an answer. His lion-like tail swishes back and forth as if taunting me to attempt to refuse his kindness. This man was the Terra, the demigod leader of the city of Fides, and the chosen of the earth element. And he just paid for a ridiculously overpriced item of clothing. For me. Alright. The intensity of his gaze lessened before he nodded towards the clothing on my body. Pretty things suit pretty people. Considered a party favorite, you're a guest of the Dread Festival, right? I nod, and he's giving me a brilliant grin. Then please, make yourself at home in our city. The words a million people would kill for this chance echo in my mind, and I find myself smiling back at the demigod. Thank you! It's my duty, and, incidentally, my pleasure. I find my cheeks heating a bit at his tone. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I should be on my way. Well, of course I'll be seeing you tonight, then. Well, yeah, I guess I better grab my old clothes and pack everything up before bidding Cupio and the Terra a most dignified goodbye I can muster. Heated cheeks, huh? Not those! Now, what did the way back to the embassy look like? I start retracing my steps, but quickly find myself unable to deny the itch to put words on paper over my recent encounter. See, compared to the capital of the Ares Empire, the elven city of Omni is, ridiculously expensive! The prices for clothing here is terribly inflated, nothing like the readily available of reasonably, ready availability of reasonably priced garbs back home. Not this day and age, babe. There ain't no reasonably priced garbs, ain't nowhere, not even the fucking Goodwill. You know what sucks? Like, I have to find a pair of dress pants before, like, the end of next month. Even just going to Goodwill, you'll be, like, looking at pants and like, okay, these aren't too terrible. I guess I can pay, like, $5 for these. I'll wear them once or twice for something. And then you look and it's like, why are these $19? This is a Goodwill! I hate it. I fucking hate it, man. It's bullshit. See, my thoughts then wander to the Terra of the Elves, to his warm smiles and his overly accommodating sentiments. Nobody had ever covered a bill for me before purely out of kindness. I can't help but wonder what the price I have to pay for it in return would be. I frown and structure my thoughts on the demigod of Earth. My first impression of the Terra of Elves is that, wait, he seems to live in his own world, or he has a terrible savior complex? That's not my first impression, neither of those, actually. I guess he lives in his own world? I've never once spotted any of our 9 generals out shopping for clothes mere hours before an event as important as the Dread Festival. Then again, if the Terra is as rich as the legends say he is, I shouldn't be surprised that he throws money around at pompous stores with ridiculously inflated prices. I feel my chest grow heavy with guilt over the words I put down. We've been taught to always show the strengths of our empire. Throwing mud at the reputations of others in order to do so, however, has never been my favorite thing to do. I exhale and look up from my page and quill, needing a distraction from my treacherous thoughts. It comes quickly as I do not recognize the street I'm walking on. Multitasking is not always as easy as it seems. The marble and quartz are lost, instead replaced by simple one-floor stone buildings, decorated with all kinds of dried plants, bones, and black velvet curtains. Me looking around to make sure Velvet did not get confused by that. I don't see her, she must be on my bed. The streets seem deserted, the air feels oppressive. Unlike the other parts of town, soft lavender and green candles lay lit around the street as though there is a heavy darkness here that dims all other colors and needs to be warded off. Silence stretches over me in a way that has me glancing back at my shadow. I don't know why, but this place reminds me of some of the worst moments of my life. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so we either lose our parents, have a terrible breakup, nearly die ourselves, or lose a friend in the yearly war. Yearly wars? Yearly! Like, is this scheduled? Y'all just have, like, a war every February? Is that what y'all do for Valentine's? I'm curious about this. I mean, my parents aren't dead yet. Eeny, meeny, miny, momos. An unforeseen medical condition that I had a chance not to survive. Fortunately, I've recovered, but I get a shiver every time I recall it and how close it brought me to the brink. I recall the darkness as I passed out, the concerned faces around me, how weak and pathetic I felt during my recovery process. I take a deep breath and focus on the teachings of the Ares Empire, the way to fight back the demons that attempt to conquer you. I need to keep myself occupied and focus on the things at hand. I need to take everything step by step. Okay, turn back and try to trace my steps or look for someone to guide me. I probably still would not talk to a stranger. Realistically, I'm in a city I do not recognize. I'm gonna talk to someone and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be scared of them. Turn back. I turn back around, attempting to recall the turns I made around the features of buildings I may have noticed. But nothing sticks out. There is no landmark that feet lead me to or that my eyes recognize. Haven't I already been on this street? I feel as though I'm being watched. I find myself constantly glancing around at the vacant windows and empty street corners. The cold chill climbs up my back. Why did my phone just light up? Hello? Yeah, I hope streaming mode is on. What do you fucking mean? What's happening? Ah, come on, what's happening? Something... What is this? Behave yourself. Sorry guys, my USB hub is just like connecting and disconnecting. It hates me sometimes. Yeah, come on back. Is it done? Is it done throwing its fit? You done with your tantrum? Alright, thank you so much, Razer. God, I need to get a better USB hub. I've had this pink, like, Razer headphone stand one for so long. I mean, it does work 90% of the time, but then it does this other thing, you know? It is Jeff Bezos, that Technomancer. Now, this one's not Bezos. This one's on a... I don't know who owns Razer, actually. Okay, a cold chill jumps up my back as I reach a few doors without windows or candles. Was this elven magic or all just in my head? Was someone playing tricks on me? When I start to readjust my pack, I feel something wet hit my forehead. Ugh. Oh, it's just rain. Okay, that's fine. The darkening skies up above surprise me, and I have barely a moment to blink before I'm caught in a downpour. The rain is so heavy and cold that if I don't hide somewhere quick, I'm sure I'll be sick during tonight's banquet. Shit! I don't remember his name, I just know he's Korean Min or something. Gotcha. Let's see, at this rate, my notes will be ruined. I break into a run, looking for shelter from the downpour. The only place I manage to find on such a short notice is underneath a small staircase. I'm forced to squeeze in underneath, pulling my feet to my chest. I mean, I like the rain, actually. I've always found it calming. The pitter-patter of raindrops against any surface could easily put me to sleep. With a downpour like this, it seemed as if the sky was crying. For the first time in my life, I found the sky's unruliness almost unfair. By force of habit, I find myself closing my eyes and listening to the sound of raindrops as they hit the cement. Oh, Singaporean, apparently. Ah! I breathe in the petrichor and allow its familiar smell to calm me. Despite my feelings, I find my earlier unease evaporating, melting away with the minutes. Doggy! Open my eyes to the sound of a bark and find a small puppy! Tilting its head at me. That sounded like a dog, not a puppy. When I blink again, however, I find that I must have imagined it. Aww. Huh? That's not a dog! What stands before me instead is a tall man dressed from head to toe in black. Wait, I'm sorry, does... One... Alright! Alright! Yeah, his four eyes are a startling green. Greener than the purest jadeite. Somehow he sticks out from within the gloom of the surrounding environment. Perhaps because of the lit white candle that gleams in the lantern he holds up towards me. He surveys me silently, unbothered by the rain falling from the sky. His gaze lingers a beat too long on my ears. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, am I not supposed to be here? You do not like my ears? Do I need to get rid of them? Do you need the Momo with no brim experience? Is that better? Is that better? A sound like an exasperated scoff escapes him before he moves his cape to one side. It takes me a moment to realize that he's offering to share? Come on. I'm not sure how I managed to hear a voice so gentle above the downpour. Let's get you out of this rain. I should refuse something about strangers and dangers. However, this man and his calm, gentle presence reassured me of my safety in a way no one else ever had. Perhaps it was magic. Also, apparently, I'm not even slightly worried about the 4 eyes thing. And did it truly matter if I was bespelled if I managed to get to the banquet in time? Oh no, she can't hear us. She's got her oh wait, no, she just dumb. She had no ears. Nah, yeah, I ain't got no ears. I can't hear nobody, ain't hear nothing. That's why the music must have stopped. Let's say I'm pleased to find that it's much warmer and larger than it looks. So I assume you're an ambassador of the Ares Empire? Once again, I'm surprised I can hear him. Okay, does this guy just sound like he's fucking whispering 24/7? Where's the music stop? You got no ears. Yeah, no, I can't hear shit. Say something of the sort. His gaze lingers on me for a moment too long. Though he says nothing, he reaches his lantern forward, and I gather that we should move. The streets are accumulating water at such a pace that the sewage system does not seem capable of handling it. Ew. At first, I do my best to avoid the gathering puddles and streams of water carrying away dust and grime. Though the task is difficult and my feet should be soaked through the shoes and socks, I'm surprised to find that I don't walk into the puddles. I walk over them, as though an invisible barrier has been created between myself and the cold water accumulating on the streets. When I glance back at the man leading me, I notice the way the rain bounces away from him. I'm just gonna stay quiet on that one. I feel like I have way more questions than just that. I've never encountered someone with such a countenance before. Somehow he manages to both blend in with the current gloom and stand out from it. He tilts his head towards the sky as if attempting to gauge if it will cease raining soon. Then sighs. I apologize. Once again, it takes me a moment to catch his voice. I find how easy it is to miss alarming. Do you usually apologize to all your victims you save from a downpour? He raises an eyebrow at my pathetic attempt at a joke. Only when they're unnatural, caused by the emotional experience of one of ours. The puzzle pieces clicked into place. Wait, Amore's current aqua aspect of water had come into power 3 years ago, yet he was powerful enough to cause such a deluge? Do all elven aspects have the ability to affect the weather? I can feel his gaze resting on me for a brief period. No. Oh. At least not without the help of spell candles. Hey! I raise an eyebrow at the man as he guides us into a turn that leads us out of the basic rocky building district. What are spell candles? A few seconds pass by without an answer, and I wonder if the cloak almost seems to grow heavier around me. A way to preserve pure elemental magic. And the magic is released when the candle's burned? Correct. Okay, it sounds simple enough. The eyes on the man's cheekbones glance in my direction and narrow. The action unnerves me almost as much as my earlier interaction with the general. Wait, so like only one set of the eyes is staring at me? I don't like that. I don't like that. I have the instantaneous need to apologize, but what for? Instead, we walk in silence, passing through the alleyways that continue to have no distinguishing features at all. Here we are. The Mail stopped suddenly and turned towards me, his tall frame towering over me as he lifted his lantern towards the entrance of the Eurasian embassy, his titty out. I mean, not as much as the other guy! See loud percussion, the whistle of a flute, and the mandolin rang through the air, showing off that the festivities had begun. And I was late. I'm embarrassed to admit I was so focused on the intriguing man before me to notice we'd arrived. Thank you. No thank you is necessary, be assured. He motioned for me to go ahead with his free hand, so I just nodded, turned on my heel, and walked into the embassy in a hurry. The music was much louder inside, accompanied by the smells of various sizzling meats and the bright light of hanging chandeliers. Water, earth, and death elves moved. Sorry, I didn't. Water, earth, death. The three elements. The elves moved around in wild circular dances, dressed in such finery that I found myself thankful that the Terra had interfered on my behalf at the store earlier. Though I spot him in the room, I find that he's engaged in conversation with some senators from our empire, full goblet in hand. A few paces away from him, my eyes meet the infamous crimson hues of the general. No, that's not that guy's name. Hang on, they spelled something wrong there. Who seems to have stopped whatever he was doing to size up my outfit. Irritation bubbles up in my throat, and I find myself quickly pivoting towards the drinks table. A large wine fountain adorned with lit silver candles quickly catches my eye, and a polite elf pours me a goblet upon noticing my approach. I take a cup with a smile, but am momentarily distracted from drinking. I hear a series of loud gasps echo from somewhere before a slick, tangible voice cuts through the music like a hot knife through butter. Oh no. Oh no. Alright. Yeah, I can guess what to expect here. I told the pirate lord that if he's not willing to go to war for my love, he doesn't deserve me. And then I sank his ship to the bottom of the bay. A series of excited whispers and murmurs follow the ridiculous explanation, carrying the electric atmosphere that supports all forms of gossip murmuring. Momentarily distracted, I can't help but search for whoever is the source of this ambiance. Frankly, even if my sister and brother were on the marriage market, I doubt they'd be able to impress. Then again, feel free to bring it up with stepmother dearest. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to finally get a morsel of attention. My feet move automatically as if charmed by scandal carried within every sentence of whoever is speaking. I find I'm led into a section of the embassy floor transformed into a lounge by large chases, silk curtains, and burning incense. Many gorgeous elves are piled on top of the comfortable pillows, lazing around in eye-catching outfits. Yet when my eyes land on the male sprawled in the dead center of this crowd, I find myself suddenly flustered. Oh, that's a fish! Wait, I don't remember death being a part of Avatar The Last Bender. Actually, no, there was a lot of death. There was actually a lot. Really? Really, Twitch? You ran 6 minutes of ads before my stream started, and you're gonna go ahead and tell me I have to do ads after an hour anyways. Alright, you piece of fucking shit website. I hate this place. God. Ugh, why isn't there a better option? Alright, gamers, everybody take 5. Everybody do a lap. I'm gonna go grab a drink for a second. We'll be right back. Yeah, it said no nude fish without ads. Bezos said, oh, you want to see some man titty? You gotta watch, I don't know. I don't know what commercials they have nowadays, because I actually do use an ad block like you should too!
Now,
what do they got commercials for now? I don't know, like... Do kids still like Zuzu Pets? Do they still got commercials for those or something? I hope that's the only thing that airs on my channel. Otherwise, I ain't endorsing it. Go piss, girl!
This is so awkward, but I understand your hatred for the principal and her administrators. I've seen the way they treat you. Worse than a piece of dried up dog shit.
Thanks. giving me sore balls. I sure never thought I'd be complaining about having too much sex.
Alright, gamers. We should be back, so welcome back. Everybody have a good little break. I went and made myself a drink. Fucked up and evil. Fucked up. You can barely hear that one, but it did play. It was the screenshot sound. I don't want to perish. Also, yeah, hang on. Let's do this. Let's turn this all way down so you actually can't hear my sound effects. You got McDonald's. I told you you couldn't get McDonald's unless you got me, Annie. That's not fair. You have to share with the class. Wait, screenshotting this gameplay footage and sending it to your grandma. Which one? Both my grandmas is dead. Try me. The long hair, the glistening in the candlelight as if wet, the bright pink makeup, the outfit that I'm sure would look unseemly on anyone else in such a formal environment. Did I stutter? Okay, damn. They gave you free fries. Where are my fries? Whoever he is, he commands the space behind these curtains as though he owns it. And he might as well, considering the way the hungry gazes of his entourage follow each breath he takes. No, sweetheart, no matter how much money your father offers her family as a dowry, trust me, she won't marry you. He sounds so utterly bored with the topic that I almost believe that he isn't reveling in the attention he's receiving. See, his large smile says otherwise. Everyone knows that marrying for love is far superior to marrying for money. His gaze landed on me and his smile widened. Wouldn't you agree? The pool of attention was dropped upon me so suddenly that I found myself desperate to get rid of it. Uh-oh. I don't believe in marriage. I'd rather not give opinions on other people's relationships. That is hilarious. I mean, I'm gonna be like that kid from that one taco commercial. Why can't we have both? Why not both? Truly? Such naivety. I'm convinced his gaze brightens as he shifts it to somewhere behind my shoulder, as if searching for someone beyond the curtains before returning to me. Well, I suppose I've always had a penchant for the gullible. Wait. His heterochromic eyes slide over my forearm. Oh no, he's got the homophobia in his eyes! The combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell? Oh my god, I wish. The retort I'd planned never leaves my mouth. You're just my type. Excuse me? His bold proclamation wipes the remark clean from my memory, and I could only stare at him, completely dumbfounded. My cheeks flush as he spreads 2 fingers in front of his Oh my god. Oh, he is a slutty fish. Good god. Feel free to stop by my room later. I highly doubt that would be Aqua of the Elves. My embarrassment is quickly swept under the rug, the attention of the room instead drawn to the general who'd moved in front of me. His demeanor remains as cold as always. Ah, the Shadow Master. The beautiful man before me finally moves to stand in front of us. I had an inkling that the male before me had to be influential, but I had just been propositioned by the aspect of water? My brain blanched as I pondered how to put that down in my journal. I've heard a lot about you. The Aqua did a quick circle around the general, eyeing him with an unabashed curiosity. The man without a heart, was it? Care to dispel that rumor? Ignoring the bold flirtation of the demigod before him, the general's crimson eyes glance in my direction briefly. I ask you to refrain from distracting our Balefire-mandated political journalist from doing her job. I find myself stiffening upon hearing the mention of the Ares Empire's grand capital. Aqua's attention slid over me again, lingering on the authorized notebook I was given to put my notes down. I make no promises. You! It's a festival, General. Relax. He waved an amphibious hand dismissively. In fact, he raised his voice in a way that carries his words around the room. That pose is so slutty, I know! I propose a toast. Another goblet of wine is pushed into my hand by a servant so quickly that I suspect the Aqua of the Elves is the habit of making toasts. Though the room is buzzing with excitement, it is quiet enough to hear a pin drop. Beside me, I notice the general giving Aqua a withering gaze to the Ares Empire who has stood behind us thousands of winters. He raised his silver goblet into the air. May our festival once again nourish the millennium-old alliance between our 2 nations so that we may stand together again for the coming horrors anew in 8 months. Y'all really do just have a war every single year, like clockwork. Holy shit. I blink as the word is echoed around the room and everyone erupts in cheers before drinking from their cups. Fuck it, I'll take a sip, I'll drink. Actually, yes, you know what? I'll take a sip. I just went and made myself a drink. Mike's Hard Lemonade always tastes a little bit too sour for me. So I just mixed it with some of my, like, non-alcoholic strawberry lemonade. So now this thing is, 150% lemonade and 50% strawberry. Because that's how math works. See, I take a sip of the wine and I'm thrown off by the dry, slightly salty taste it carries. You're telling me Mike had to get hard to make this lemonade? Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but it helps. I glance around the room to see if anyone shared my reaction, but it seems I'm alone in my confusion. The festivities around me resumed in full force, with the swell of a flute leading most elves that were gathered around Aqua into an unfamiliar folk dance. They bounce around the room in couples, laughing and dragging the occasional senator into their steps. It's wild and lively, antithetical to the structured festivals we hold back at Balefire. It's an acquired taste. The wine, I mean. Surf grape, they call it in Amorn. Ah, okay, yep, we got the Terra again. Okay, a familiar voice comes from behind as I turn to come face to face with the giant frame of the Elves Terra. Long time no see, princess. Am I a literal princess, or is he just calling me that? I don't think I'm actually a princess. I think I'm just a journalist. It's good to see you as well, Terra. Planning to take Aqua up on his offer? Huh? What? What are you asking? What do you want to know? Say, I'm gonna be doing my job, thank you. I thought so. Part of me wanted to ask him what he meant considering that smile, but I find my attention occupied by Aqua. He led a complex folk dance with easy confidence, his long hair swaying behind him, a mesmerizing head of the revelry. Our stoic generals followed through the motions beside him as though he'd done this many times before. He looks like he'd have more fun cleaning bird shit. I stifle a laugh behind a hand and glance up at the shrugging demigod. Am I wrong, though? No, you're right. I don't have to do anything more to earn myself a pleased expression from the elven demigod. His gaze shifts behind me and I follow it to a lone figure leaning against a wall beside the embassy's entrance. Wait! I'm sorry, so not only do you have you're... What are you? I don't think you're cat. What are you, fox? Wolf? What the fuck are you? We already have one kitty! My guy from earlier with his hood down, I'm startled to see a pair of long lupine ears shifting. That's a wolf, baby! Mors Mortis, the aspect of death, the last demigod of the waking elves. He's watching the dance unfolding around the embassy floor, but seems to be restraining himself from joining it. Terra nudges me with his elbow. You could invite him to dance, you know. I'm startled by the suggestion. You know the steps, don't you? I nod slowly. Which direction am I nodding in? Because me, Momo, I do not know. I wouldn't be allowed on this job if I didn't. Well, what are you waiting for? Blink at Terra's words, suddenly feeling encouraged to try something new? Ow! Okay, now I get to pick who I want. This would be a great feature to put into the journalistic piece after I get home. This is a tough choice, actually. Hang on. So, there's lion, there's wolf, there's slutty fish, and then and I'm saying this with all the love in my heart, not as an insult, but great value Prince Zuko. I don't know who to pick! Ah! This is tough. Will it let me... I'm sure I can probably just, like, breeze through it and go through all of them again. I'm gonna pick the slutty fish. Takes little effort to find the man in question, leading a line of dancers through a tune traditional to our empire. He twists his hips with every other step, a smile on his face as his flowy dress trails in the air after him. He's bewitching, and I know I'm caught staring when our gazes meet, and I quickly have to look back at Terra, who I find grinning down at me. Uh-oh. I see someone else has caught your eye. What? No! Come on! Before I can protest, I'm dragged to the hub of all attention by the Androsphinx. It is difficult to make out the words exchanged between our general and the aspect of Earth, but a couple of breaths later I find myself taking his place holding Aqua's amphibious hand. You think you like the little smiley nips? You think you like the lion, man? Dance like my life depends on it or enjoy myself? I guess I have fun with it, why the hell not? I let the rhythm of the music carry me through the steps as I follow Aqua's lead with ease. No matter where I am, I've danced this traditional song so many times that I could probably perform it with my eyes closed. I can't help the smile that slips onto my face. I thought you despised being the center of attention based on our earlier interaction. I do despise it! And yet, here you are anyway. The music shifts into more folkloric tunes. His body suddenly twists, turning to face mine. I catch a sparkle in his eyes as a cello replaces the flute. As the leading instrument, percussion begins pounding through the air, stirring the adrenaline in my veins. The Aqua I love how it's like not just like Aqua, he's the Aqua. The Aqua leads us around over a couple of low chases, and I find myself having to concentrate on my feet in order not to trip. up, my dear? I barely have the time to respond as he lifts his other hand mid-step and snaps his fingers. With my next breath, I feel the air in the room suddenly grow humid. The candles dim and glittering mist fills the room, turning the setting much more intimate. Oh, what? Excited murmurs mingle with the intense music as the demigod of water leads our line of dancing elves and mortals to the center of the hall. Hold on. I have a split second to react to his words. Why? I hear a chuckle from as he flicks a glimmering silver candle that we pass by in the dim room, and my perspective suddenly shifts. I yelp and stumble as my feet step on invisible steps in the air. The only reason I don't fall is Aqua's firm grip on my hand as he turns to face me, because I was kind enough to warn you. Let's see. I think he's raised an eyebrow at me, but I'm too captivated by the rest of him to know for sure. The water that has stuck to his skin, reflecting the light like glitter, making him look more myth than mortal. I mean, he is like a mermaid or something, right? He's already kind of more myth than mortal. His smile widens and I feel my cheeks flush. This is a good look on you. Wet and oh my god! Calm down, dude! You can't say stuff like that! I can do whatever I want. To prove his point, he shifts his hand over to my waist, pulling me close a few beats before the song comes to an end. I catch his scent. It's an odd combination of peppery, floral, and sweet. A quick yelp escapes me as we begin descending back towards the tiled floor of the embassy hall. While the drop isn't terribly fast, I'm so surprised that I wrap my hands around the demigod's arms, desperately not to fall. He laughs, the dolt, and as I'm about to snap, completely having forgotten where we are, the floor explodes with applause and the light returns back to the room. The humidity is gone with my next breath. Unlike the man whose arm I'm standing in, he moves a damp strand of hair behind my ear and leans closer, tilting his head to one side. I raise my hand to stop him from moving closer and watch as he gracefully pulls back. I don't want any trouble, my guy. Humor makes its way onto his gorgeous face. Ever? What a horrible way to live! Maybe if you keep giving trouble a try, you'll learn to rejoice in the festivities rather than fear them. So about that invitation. She can't be bothered. The general cuts into the conversation with a glare in Aqua's direction that gives me goosebumps. Instead of being frightened, however, the aspect of Water's gaze simply flickers between the Shadow Master and me quickly before a smile curls upon his lips. As though he's seen the opponent fall into a complex trap in a game of chess. But General, shouldn't you let your subjects decide for themselves whose bed they spend the night in? Jesus! General is trying to stop you getting fish pregnant. I mean, if it's Seahorse's rules, I'd be getting him pregnant, right?
I'm here.
What a line. I should team at this guy. Our great nations have such similar beliefs about how the physical and mental health are strongly related to... She's part of a political delegation, Aqua. She is not being paid to be your bed warmer.
Who do you kin? Nagito?
This is so awkward, but I understand your hatred for the principal and her administrators. I've seen the way they treat you. Worse than a piece of dried up dog shit.
Thanks.
I cannot believe that. Nope. How dare you? I hate that sound. I hate it. Alright, Cilia, Pyre, and Lovak give me strength. Yes, and I'm not supposed to be very accepting of murderers walking around in our capital, but I'm making this gesture towards you, am I not? I'm so stunned that I have the urge to go knock on wood somewhere. This is a nightmare. It has to be. Let me clear my throat. Well, if that is all, then I shall be heading to my chambers to prepare for tomorrow's opening ceremony. I pat myself on the back when both of their annoyed gazes turn to me, and I don't flinch. Any journalist serious about their job would already be resting. I give the general my brightest smile. My thoughts exactly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I wish you both a pleasant evening. Please don't burn down the embassy while I'm sleeping inside. The general gives me a curt, dismissive nod as I turn on my heel. but the aqua gives me a heavy, charged look that I have to make a mental note to forget, lest I want to experience a very specific kind of dream tonight. Oh my! Oh my! You want to hate ship them so bad. I quickly reach my room. The inside is small but luxuriously furnished, showing off what I already knew, that the Ares Empire spared no expense for its diplomats. I find myself glaring at the unnecessary mahogany desk, the silk robe hanging from my dresses, the comfortable bed warmed by the red candlelit beds lit beside it, the redundant opulence of the ensuite bathroom with the heated floors and the scented soaps. I sigh as I sink into my bed, journal in hand. Pushing my annoyances aside, my thoughts drift, taking me through the day. So far, I find Omnis to be, grandiose. I'm describing the giant marble pillars and colorful quartz rooftops of the city's buildings, the perfectly coiffed shrubbery, the strong scent of roses, the gorgeous crawling plants that must have taken decades to reach the heights they currently hold. I smile as I recall the soft-hanging silk curtains bathed in the golden light of dusk. Next, I find myself focusing on the welcome festivities I'd just been part of. They were quite a special experience. The winters our eastern continent experiences are mere mist to the rest of the known world. They are harsh, filled with horrors of mind and body. We lose too many good people to these wars every year. And yet, within the Eurasian Embassy of Omnis, the evening before the Dread Festival, we are welcomed with open arms by our elven comrades in arms. We find hope in breaking bread and sharing wine. We smile, laugh, and choose to live on, persist despite the emanations of our recent memories. It was a heartwarming sight of an alliance forged over millennia of joint suffering. I find myself smiling when I think, oh, Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Alright, just going by my experience of bajillions of years playing these kinds of games, being wishy-washy does not lead to anything good. I picked Fishman before I gotta keep picking Fishman. I'm locked in. The beautiful, enigmatic Leviathan demigod of water, youngest aspect, leader of Amor, elven city of love. There was very little information about him, but I hadn't expected a flirty brat that parades his newly acquired status in front of a clique of gossip mongers. I pondered what else I could put down in respectable terminology. What had he done that rattled me so? The Aqua is like young love. He's bold like desire and fearless in the pursuit of his interests. He wears power and attention as though they are simple rings on his webbed fingers. He acts as though he can receive or achieve anything he desires, and the simplicity of the belief makes me jealous of my own inability to reciprocate that freedom and love. Perhaps the weeks of travel were finally getting to me. I put away my journal and tried to get some rest. To survive in the Ares Empire, you need to love it. Or you need to be very good at pretending to do so. The delegation was ready to depart to the Central Plaza at 7:30 a.m. sharp. Systemized like apothecary bottles, not a single soul dared to be laid under the general scrutiny. As if yesterday's chaotic revelry was a dream we'd all conjured up in our sleep. But the outfit on my body was proof enough, considering I had nothing else decent to wear. The elven diplomats meant to escort us to the location of the Dread Festival's opening ceremony arrived at exactly 7:35. The Shadow Master greeted them, and after finishing the steaming contents of his cup, bid they lead the way. Well, my cup's not steaming, but I'm gonna take a drink. It's not quite warm drink weather yet, but it's getting there. I soon found myself uncertain as to why all of this posturing was so necessary. The Central Plaza of Omni is exactly a 3-minute walk away from the embassy. Wait, they're built into, like, the church. Oh, that's sick as fuck, actually. Oh, that's so cool. Though we are early to the ceremony, the open space is packed with elves of various elemental inclinations and ages. 7 large stone coffins held together with heavy locks and star mail chains lay arranged in a neat line in the heart of the square. A giant cauldron of bubbling wax levitates peacefully above each one, and I quickly spot the 7 lit silver candles held together by Mors Mortis. Though Terra and Aqua are nowhere to be found, the aspect of death seems to personally be attending to the festival's preparations. He appears calm as he runs his fingers over the flames of the braziers heating the cauldrons, earning excited whispers from the gathered elves and senators. You're a slut for architecture? Valid. See, I find myself wondering if it hurts or if he's touched fire so many times he's grown numb to it. For a second, his eyes meet mine across the field as our delegation steps forward to our designated area. Smile at him, I guess? I don't fucking know. Surprise skips over his features like a pebble before sinking underneath the perfectly constructed political smile he'd offered our delegation. Or so I expected. Instead, his expression remains the same as he offers a cool, calculated bow. Welcome, esteemed General and delegates of the Ares Empire, to this year's Dread Festival opening. Thank you, Aspect of Death, for hosting us again this year. The Shadow Master returns the sentiment with a curt bow of his own. What a lukewarm exchange. I'm not certain exactly what has happened between these two, but I do not have any time to dwell on it, for Aqua and Terrace's arrival breaks the tension and turns it into chaos. It's as if wherever these two appear, the location turns into a stage set for spectacle. A stark contrast to the elves' indifference towards Mors Mortis and quiet curiosity about the general. I find my gaze lingering on... Again, I mean... I'm just gonna pick each one each time. I do want to know if this boy has a tail, though. I gotta know, because Lion Man's got a tail. Does he have tail? Does Fish Boy seems like he has a tail. I want to know. The aspect of water carried himself as if he owns not just the attention of the crowd, but also the ground we walk on and the air we breathe. It's almost rude how beautiful this man is, as though his gods had forgotten themselves when creating him. When he spots me staring, his lips curve into a smirk so ferociously gorgeous that I fear my own thoughts.
Those titties are suspicious. We should examine them, yeah?
Oh, you mean theirs, right? There you go. That's what you wanted, right? That's as much as I can zoom in on those. Thanks. Anytime, Goose. Anytime. Thank the war gods. Terra spoke up when he did. Esteemed guests of the Empire, allow us to once again welcome you to our lands as we commemorate the end of another winter. Terra moved to stand beside the now quiet Mors Mortis. There is no greater honor for us and our people to call you and yours by the term allies. For every time we've called, you've answered, and whether you've been in need, whenever you've been in need, we've delivered. It is through good that we stave off evil. Through your gods and ours. Listening to the eloquence of the aspect of Earth, I'm quickly reminded that as the leader of the City of Faith, Terra also holds the title of head of the Elfic religions. Oh! So is he gonna be, like, wearing, like, some kind of fucking priest getup at some point? Like, say, Aqua speaks next, a hand on his heart. Our bond has lasted for millennia, a marriage against our darkness. The commitment immortalized when we sealed away the 7 Scions will continue to hold again today. On this first dawn of the Dread Festival, we vow to once again keep them at bay. His voice pulls me towards him like a sailor to a siren, but it is Mors Mortis' tone that brings me back. That makes me stop and listen. From flesh to wax, from wax to life. Every year the eternal war takes from us those we hold dear. And with what is left of them, we seal away chaos, anger, harm, loneliness, sorrow, hunger, and plague, and take a breath until next winter. For it's through faith that we hold the lines, through love that we stand united, and through hope that we keep fighting. Let those we love shield us once more from the danger which we've forgotten. Breathe in and take your time to pray. And then the general's just standing there, like, moral support, maybe. Terra's command echoes through the air, rendering the thousands of elves gathered on their knees. As per the ritual, our delegation is the first to walk up to the braziers of bubbling wax and silently thank those who gave their lives for ours. The general goes first, murmuring thank yous in both our language and that of the elves. Though I can't see his face, I find his tone to be gentler than I'd heard from him before. I go last from our delegation. I I guess I'll do the same thing. I don't fucking know what to do in this situation. I'll do what I've done every single time in my life. I've been, like, at someone with dinner.
Nice car.
Thank you.
Perfect.
I know this is not just a unique experience. I know this is not unique to me, but, like, if you have ever been invited over to somebody's house to have dinner with them, whether it be a holiday or just for, like, a sleepover or whatever, and then you sit down to eat, and then you're about to dig into your food, and then you hear the words, alright, now let's say grace, and then you just fucking panic. You're just like, fine, shit, fine, okay, That's what that feels like. So I reached the first cauldron. I thank the people and elves who gave their lives for our peace in both languages. You during Thanksgiving? Yeah, me during Thanksgiving too, and Christmas, and Easter. And honestly, any family dinner that's ever happened. Okay, then I move on to the next cauldron and do... Actually, you know what? Hang on, no, sorry. I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment. You know what's even worse than that? What's even worse than that is when you get asked to be the one to say it. And when they're like, oh, can you say grace? And I'm just like, you want... No, please, no. No, you don't want that. You do not want that. Are we just yelling grace or doing a prayer or being full-on Catholic, right? It's like, what's happening? So then I move on to the next cauldron and do the same, and the next, and the next, and the next. It is considered a great honor to be able to come this close to the dead again. Once our delegation is finished paying our respects, the elven aspects follow. The three move in perfect tandem. And by the time Mors Mortis is finished, the rest of the elven population in Omnis is already in silent tears. Poor. Mors Mortis orders after a moment of silence. The 7 cauldrons obey Mors Mortis' command, slowly moving to tip over. Wax begins hitting the coffins one by one, resealing them under the watchful eyes of the elven aspects, their people, and our delegation. Get down! Oh, the words shatter through the silence. I barely have time to process the familiar voice before the ground underneath my feet gives. For a second, I think I'm blind. The world has turned pitch black. I think I smell something burning? Then daylight breaks through, bringing back my senses of sight. My knees are bleeding. I blink as I try to get my bearings, but it's as though sound has ceased to function. I make out that some of the senators lay beside me, cowering. He said to get down. I'm getting down. The general is kneeling beside me, a knife in his hand. His eyes wander around our delegation, coolly checking for everyone's presence and safety. At least until a shout cuts apart my uncertainty with a new horrifying discovery. The goddess of chaos has escaped! My eyes shoot in the direction of the pale marble coffin, the last one to be sealed, now empty. I hear murmurs and whispers from the gathered elven crowds. The words are undecipherable until the general's crimson gaze sweeps toward the onlookers with what can only be described as wild fury. They've finally decided to conquer us too? Betrayers! Scoundrels! My blood chills as I realize that the only possible culprits could be those close enough to the cauldrons. The realization seems to dawn upon the aspects at the same time because all 3 of them turn to face us. The words "seize them" suddenly sound like a phrase from a banned horror novel. The elven crowds are dispersing, told to return to their homes under curfew. Meanwhile, we are roughly pulled to a standing position in front of the aspects. While Terra and Aqua's expressions are unreadable, Mors Mortis looks dangerously calm. General, give us one reason why we mustn't lynch your delegation and send you back to the Emperor to announce the dissolution of our alliance. You have no proof. I find this man's ability to remain an egotistical bastard even when standing before 3 demigods almost attractive. Almost. Did nobody else stand close enough to the Braziers in order to tamper with them? The general falls silent and I realize exactly what he's saying. I see Mors Mortis' expression turn murderous as he reaches the same conclusion. My thoughts suddenly dim as primal existential fear of death sinks its claws into my back. How dare... Let's hold an investigation then. Aqua's smile is nonchalant, but something in his tone gives me pause. Mors Mortis' eyes narrow on the demigod of water. Everyone present is a suspect. I don't know why the 3 unitary demigods suddenly looked so divided. Terra, much to my surprise, is frowning, his tail flicking around, his arms crossed in front of his chest. Very well. Mors Mortis, 4 Jedi's wander between the members of our delegation and the surrounding guards before landing on the general. Name your investigator, Shadow Master. You get one and only one. Me? Why me? What? I jumped to my feet as all eyes turned to me. I guess I'll do it. I don't think I have a choice. I catch a glimmer in Terra's gaze as none of the aspects are you in General's choice. Aqua's smile widens as I find myself looking away, needing to escape all this attention. The festival lasts 7 days. This is how long you have to get your truth. The unspoken "if you fail" remains a silent implication that hangs over my head like a guillotine for the next week. Ooh. I return to my room and find that my fingers are gripping my journal so hard that they're shaking. I have to get it together. Desperately. I can sense how overwhelmed I am with fear. Had it been winter, I likely would have already turned into some mindless ghoul and fallen prey to the sword of a soldier. I take in a deep breath and then exhale. I repeat these simple motions several times until my brain has enough oxygen to function again as it should. Who do I investigate? I mean, I don't have any real reason to suspect any of them. I don't know. Let's go talk to Wolfman, I guess. My head feels like it's swimming as I attempt to piece everything together. Nothing makes sense. There's still too much information I lack and too little time to figure this out. I feel restless, the squeezing of my stomach from nerves doubled by the rapid growing hunger for something more serious than a cup of tea. Oh, have I not eaten? Oh my god. It forces me out of my chair and to my door. With the amount of stress I'm under, if I don't eat anything, I might fall sick, and then it really doomed us all. A light meal would have to suffice. Pulling the door open, I find myself staring back at 2 pairs of surprised green eyes. The aspect of death. One dark hand pulled into a fist seems to have just been about to knock. Instead, he clears his throat and hides his hand back under his long cloak. I've come at a bad time. He steps back serene, entirely different from the previous burning display of anger at the city square. It's alright, Natura. I was about to step out for lunch. I see. Then I won't keep you with my presence. Well, that won't work for me. I desperately need answers. Would you like to join me for lunch? If it's not entirely too bold of an invitation, considering the difference in our stations, you could join me. This way we won't waste any time. 4 green eyes blink at me and then scan me from top to bottom with distrust. For lunch? Whatever he sees in my following little nod seems to melt away his suspicion, replacing them with curiosity instead. He motions for me to walk ahead, and I do just that. A polite silence blanketing the space between us as we make our way to the embassy's canteen. It's a small but well-decorated place with 3 rotating tables covered in banquet-style dishes for self-service. One tall window allows for daylight to enter and envelop the whole room. When I move to sit on one of the comfortable wooden chairs, Mors Mortis is quick to pull it out from behind me, surprising me as he pushes it underneath me after. Would you be comfortable with having me sit beside you, or would you prefer to have me seated across? Wherever we're in your city, my eye. And in your embassy, investigator, do not forget that. Okay. I blink as he takes his seat beside me and lowers his hood. The eyes on his cheekbones scan through the dishes on the display. Ask away. So I do just that. Did you... was it tampered with? What happened? Yes. Oh, he took his hood off. He got his ears out. How? His eyes fall on the empty plate in front of me. There were runic configurations on the inside of the cauldron. I blink in surprise. Runes are ancient symbols imbued with magic, most commonly used for spellcasting, but Runic is a dead language. Is anything truly dead if memory of it still lingers? Valid. The aspect of death rotates the traditional tablets such that the vegetable dishes faces rather than the meat-centric ones. Either this man is a vegetarian or he has astounding insight to those around him. I thank him and quietly pile some pickled vegetables onto my plate, pondering his last words. When I look back at him, I notice his ears have sharpened and his bustling tail has frozen in place as if listening for something. He does have a tail! Oh, I want a nail. Wait. Yuna no Sagihan, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the Brainless Fun Brigade. How's it going? See, for something I can't hear, the eyes on his cheekbone have shifted their attention elsewhere. His features soften after a split second, and he turns his full focus back to me. I want to see this man's tail! Like, see, in session experience, do we know what purpose the rune serves you're not gonna eat? I can pretend to consume food if that would make you touch yours. Are you not hungry? I have no appetite this morning. Too many eyes narrowed in a way I don't like. Okay. Pick up my chopsticks, attempting to be casual with my following question as I place a piece of some pickled green tomato in my mouth and make an effort to chew. Absolutely not. No, I would not eat that in a million years. I would die of starvation. Thank you. Then it is not delicious, no. Because I'm terribly hungry despite the nerves that refuse to settle in my stomach. Do you truly believe the culprit is from our delegation? An uncomfortable pause stretches between us as I swallow and watch him frown. The opening ritual of wax has been performed for almost 2 millennia and there has never been an issue. He sounds almost resigned as he answers. It seems that when it comes down to this investigation, he's a closed book. Wait, pickled green tomatoes are good. They have sour tomato taste. I don't like tomatoes at all. They're yucky. They're nasty. They're only good for ketchup. The only differential factors every year are the guests thing.
Great vegetables.
No, they're bad vegetables! No, Zima, no! Don't make me eat them! He nods and I find myself begrudgingly agreeing with his logic, but there is a flaw within it. If guests every year are different, then there shouldn't be anyone from our delegation who knows where to find all the tools needed in 12 hours to tamper with your ritual. My words earn me a quiet nod, but there's something uncertain about it that spurns me on. His eyes attain a sparkle that speaks to me. I'm missing something, but what? The truth hits me so suddenly that I want to vomit. An accusation that, if made within the walls of the Ares Empire, could end with my death at the very least. I find my hands shaking as I try to figure out a way to put my thoughts to ink without securing my own legally sanctioned murder. The generals are recurring guests. The Shadow Master had attended the Dread Festival many times before, and his speed and agility were legendary, the source of increased battlefield morale in many Eurasian armies. Perhaps porridge would be better on your empty stomach? I exhale and nod, but make no move to serve myself any, my fingers still frozen from thoughts inspired by unspoken truths. Did you notice anything unusual happening? Hours is a very broad amount of time, but yes, many things caught my attention. For one, my invisibility cloak has disappeared. The joke is on my tongue, but I resist interrupting, stamping it down like any other intrusive thought. I couldn't complete my afternoon patrol yesterday because I was saving a soul in distress from sudden rain. Uh-oh, that one was me. And the dead, their immortal souls were restless. Now that you just sound edgy. Even still, their bones seek to leave their graves through their flesh has been cleaved and turned to wax. How can you tell? I can see them, hear them, feel them, talk to them. His gaze shifts briefly to something above my shoulder and I follow his gaze but spot nothing. A sigh escapes him before his gaze turns to the table and the food before me, but I'm not sure I have the stomach for anything after that conversation. Wait, is this guy a vegetarian because he can see all the dead animals? Oh no! I must, however, persevere. I doubt the dead can interfere with the ritual. When did your invisibility cloak disappear? Yesterday after you left your house. Okay, well, when was that? starting to lose track of time. It was still dark outside, so it was in the early hours of the morning, somewhere around 5 a.m. based on Nosh's path through the sky. And when did you return to find it missing? 10 p.m., a quarter hour before that, perhaps? Okay, that's all day. That is all day, my dude. I know where I placed it when I returned from winter, and it isn't there. Okay, well, where do you usually put it? On the hanger beside the antidote rack. You can stop by when you have time and I'll show you what I mean. You want me to stop by your house? I'm a sheep in wolf's clothing investigator. My compatriots will confirm if only you ask them. You can bring someone with you if you're not comfortable, of course. Okay, well, who do you think's responsible? His expression turns unreadable. His eyes flicker away. A shadow falls across his face, and I know that he's thought on this already. For some reason, however, he refuses to share. His silence lasts long enough that I'm inclined to write down refuses to respond in my journal. I pick up my chopsticks and take a quick couple of bites of the pickled carrot. Yucky! As I consider how to follow up on the lack of reply. Do the spirits know who is behind the freed goddess? They are restless. They speculate, just like us. The voices have been so many that it is not only difficult to tune them out, but also impossible to make out anything any of them are saying unless I implicitly concentrate. I need more time to speak with the city's roaming spirits, but when I have the answer, I'll let you know. I should leave you to the pleasures within the plates. I barely had a moment to blink as the aspect of death rose from his chair and put his hood back on. His cloak carried behind him a scent of fallen autumn leaves and burning candles. He hadn't had a bite or a sip as he had made his way to the door. His eyes flickered once again to me and then behind me. Something of a smile crossed his lips. Remember, be a rat, not a lamb. The less meat on the bones, the less satisfying the prey. What the fuck does that mean? He closes the door behind him with a soft click, and again, I can't tell if he's trying to piss me off or he's genuinely attempting to be helpful. Who do I investigate now? Okay, let's go see the slutty fish. I wasn't sure if it was because Mors Mortis had called everyone present a suspect, but I found myself diligently studying Aqua as he sat on a chair in front of my work desk. A very ornate chair that hadn't been there until right before I asked for the aspect of water to stop by for questioning. It was carved of some expansive wood packed with comfortable cushions and sparkled with pearls of various colors and sizes. A perfect seat for the man who lounged on top of it as if he was king of the world. Legs crossed, chin propped up on one hand, he offered me a lazy smile that made something in my chest twist. He was perhaps the most beautiful man I'd ever seen, and it was annoying to no end. Should I summon a painter? You seem so fond of staring. My cheeks flushed as I cleared my throat. Glancing down at my journal, I found it logical I start off by asking him the following questions. Wait, was he late on the morning of the incident? I don't remember that, but sure. Aqua scoffed at my question. I am late only if you go by the words of Mors Mortis. If anyone else had organized the Dread Festival this year, they wouldn't have said a word. Others can organize the festival? Of course, it's a rotating duty between all aspects. It just so happened that this year the pleasure fell on Mors Mortis' shoulders. Okay. Was there anything different about it? I have no clue. I was delegated to the task of organizing your arrival banquets, so I was fully focused on that. Oh, well, no wonder it was so lavish and chaotic. Do you notice anything unusual happening in the hours before? Not really. I was too busy sleeping off a hangover. After a long night of enjoying the revelry I helped your embassy throw. His voice dipped into a softer, more melodic tone. It truly was a shame that you couldn't stay. Do demigods get hangovers? I don't know. Do we? Cilia Prayer and Lovak give me strength. If you give me straight answers, then I'll be less likely to suspect you. I assume you are well aware of that aspect. Call me Aqua, investigator. After all, we're going to be spending a lot more time together than necessary in the coming week. Deciphering all the potential meanings of that sentence made my head hurt. Who do you think's responsible? He raises an eyebrow at our question. If I was thrown in the deep end, I wouldn't go about attracting the attention of the sharks. Are you threatening me? He laughed as though I'd asked something terribly amusing. His different colored eyes glittered like sea glass. You Eurasians are always looking for a reason for an argument or a fight. Do you know a lot of Eurasians? A few. And that's enough to draw up such conclusions? Perhaps. I do my best not to roll my eyes. Alright, do you know of anyone who might benefit from freeing a dangerous goddess from her 2,000-year slumber? Excluding our enemies? I haven't sensed any dangerous emotions from anyone, if that's what you're asking me. I find myself uncertain of what to put down on the paper in front of me. I'm sorry, can you sense emotions? My fellow naturists call it empathy. Partially comes with the territory of holding the Elven Throne in the city of Amor. So you get powers from ruling a city in return for what? Spreading peace, harmony, and love, of course. Maybe you'd let me help you explore that too at some point. Clearly you need it more than anyone else around the festival. Oh my god, what the... I can't stand this guy, actually. Did he just tell me I need to get late? Did he just tell me I'm picked up? What the fuck is this guy's problem? That was all very helpful, thank you. Did you find the... I appreciate the attempt at lengthening our time together, investigator. I'm a busy man. I find myself gaping at him. I wasn't... The grin he gives me as he makes to get up is downright infuriating. I should have a free time slot for you after 5 hours if you wish to continue your disquisition. You can't just... Ah, but he can, and he proves that point by making his way out the door of my small room before I can finish my sentence. And I have the infuriating need to throw my journal at the door. As I'm looking down at my notes from the first 2 sessions, churning the new information in my brain, the door to my room swings open with such violence that I reach for the dagger underneath my desk. For a second, the shadows grow deeper, darker, and I wonder if they've moved on their own before the general marches into my room unannounced. With 4 quick strikes of his long legs, he reaches my desk, his tall form blocking out the rays of sun from the nearby window like a storm cloud. A thick stack of papers is deposited unceremoniously onto my desk, and it takes everything within me not to wince as I notice the smudges of various shades of red and brown along the inky scrawl upon them. I put the Baggerdack in its desk sheath and make up to get up and bow, but he raises a hand to stop me. I will not stay. I have taken up the task of personally questioning everyone from our delegation who prayed in front of the wax this morning. I feel the blood drain from my face as my eyes flit between him and the stack of papers before me. I clear my throat to help find my voice. Then, did you find anything of note? His eyes narrowed with unfiltered annoyance. No. He turns around, heading for the door just as abruptly as he'd entered through it, each step increasing the anxiety settling on my shoulders. I'm gonna let him leave. Alright, the door shuts behind him and I can hear my heart continue pounding in my ears for at least a minute after. Alright, breathe in. And breathe out. If I wanted to question the general, I'd just miss my shot. In doing so, however, I probably minimize his ire. Instead, my gaze slides over to the stack of papers in front of me, and I pick it up, flipping through all the questions. I started with, did you notice anything unusual, and ended with, why did you do it? The general's writing itself was a beautifully studied cursive, a contrast to the harrowing request for release under the last question. I could feel myself breaking out in a cold sweat as I continued listing through. Unfortunately for me, the Shadow Master had been right. None of the answers given held any inclination that the criminal was anyone from our delegation. This further confirmed the most likely suspects. The 3 elves aspects. The general himself. The memory of his cold and narrow gaze lingers in my mind, and my heart ceases with the realization. And me. Who do I investigate? Well, we only got one left. I tap my pen against the desk as I try to structure a plan. Sorry, I need my drink. I'm a political journalist, not a detective. Hey, those can kind of do the same thing sometimes. That's called investigative journalism, baby. Say, I should be reporting on the strong relationship between the Ares Empire and Quillen Glar. I should be watching the general gallivanting along the aspects, drinking wine, smiling politely, and just writing. Instead, I somehow find myself spearheading an investigation that could not only spark a war between two nations, but also result in the end of my life? You can feel the nerves in my stomach like worms eating me from the inside out. A worm? I should have skipped breakfast at this rate. I might skip dinner. You alright? You look like you want to murder your journal. Which I do not recommend, by the way. It looks like a nice journal. And I find myself torn from my thoughts by a voice I'm quickly going acquainted with. Its owner leans against the open doorway, strong arms crossed in front of his chest. I knocked several times, but you didn't respond, so I let myself in. It took me a moment to realize that he was waiting for me to respond to his earlier inquiry. I don't remember what the inquiry was. I'm fine. He hums, his eyes studying me briefly. His gaze was piercing, as though he could see through every little lie. Please, feel free to take a seat. I motioned to the chair in front of my desk and watched Tara's gaze flick briefly to it before moving back to me with a raised eyebrow. I don't mean to be disrespectful of your embassy's choice of furniture in saying this, but if I were to put my full weight onto that seat, I fear it won't hold another person ever again. And while I have no issue paying for those damages, I think I'd rather spare your ambassadors the embarrassment.
Nice, nice!
Very nice, Shiza-chan! Hi, Pops, how's it going? A giggle escapes me as I process his words. Imagining the present ambassadors rushing over to apologize to the elves' Terra for their inadequate seating arrangement sounded like something of a local comedy skit. Alright then, on to the topic at hand. Who do you think's responsible? And Tara's eyes narrow at my question, lips pursing into a scowl. Whoever they are, they couldn't have escaped far. I've put Omnis into lockdown. No one can leave or enter. That was not my question. His eyes like molten gold slid onto me, and for a split second I could imagine what it was like to be this man's enemy. To stand against a man who could move a mountain. Literally. Someone or something that wishes to weaken us to drive fear into the hearts of our people. And when I find them, I will tear them to pieces with my bare hands and let them rot on the altar of celebration until the crows have picked the meat clean from the remains and the bear rats have dissolved the bones with their shit. It takes me a moment to close my mouth and remember to write this down. Write this down, write that down. Silence stretches out between us. The only sound of ink on paper before I look up at the demigod before me. Another question in mind. What the hell is anyone trying to gain from all of this? Attempting to sow the seeds of panic and fear in our people is futile. Most of them have lived too long and are too emboldened by their love, faith, or hope to truly let one minor attempt on their lives shake centuries of mental and emotional training. So you believe the goal of the events is purely to free the goddess? That or to shake Mors Mortis' position in our society? I pause, having completely missed this angle. Why would anyone attempt to damage the reputation of your demigod of death? Everyone tends to fear what they cannot understand and hates what they cannot control. And Mors Mortis has saved many lives, turned this district of death and afterlife into a sanctuary for survivors of the Eternal War. And that's a problem? I feel a semblance of horror crawl up my spine at the implied alternative. Some would call it a weakness. Would you? I call it hope. I find it necessary. His undaunted response warms me, smothering the chill of horror with assurance. Alright, why were you late? Some elven business came up. Right before the festival started. When you live as long as I do, investigator, you come to realize that there's two kinds of business. There's the business you can put off and the business you can't. Usually if you don't handle the first, it becomes the second. I try not to make that mistake. That's very organized of you. I find myself smiling at this explanation. The compliment comes out accidentally and it earns me a bright grin. Thank you. His tone softens slightly, a low, warm rumble compared to his usual demanding voice. I almost find it difficult to focus on the work at hand. Let's see... Does the Dread Festival use the same agenda every year? Can you tell me more about the elven business that made you late for some reason? Well, the smile on the Earth Aspect's face doesn't shift, his tail bristles. I've seen enough small cats to know what that means. No. Alarm bells go off in my head at the sudden shift in aura. The word rings between us in a cool, steely tone. I've hit a wall with this line of questioning. Or perhaps I realize that it's simply best I don't push it for now. Alright, my apologies. Better move on to another question. No, I was preoccupied. Okay, is there any particular reason? He chuckles and the sound inexplicably takes a load off my shoulders. Some demigod enchantment, perhaps? I was releasing some pent-up energy. Oh no. Through exercise? With Aqua. Oh? Inri? Inri, I have good news for you. It takes great effort for me to keep my pen moving against the paper, but the writing turns into an unintelligible scrawl as his words sink in. His expression is proof enough that he isn't teasing me. His lips are set into a firm line, his muscular arms crossed in front of his chest. After a few moments, when I'm certain my voice and expression are schooled, I continue that line of questioning. So you're each other's alibi. And is this a comment? And how long were you together that evening? Oh, no, none of these are good. Interested in my bedroom activities already? Oh, no! They're not even being subtle about it! He lifts an eyebrow but answers my question before I can find the proper response. Common? No. He's easy on the eyes and has a ripe tongue that shouldn't go unchecked. His demigod jurisdictions over water and love make him welcoming in more ways than one. He shrugs casually as if we're talking about the weather while I'm struggling to keep my wits about me. The images were becoming vivid and his dip in tone and subsequent smirk were not helping. The usual culprit to blame for our wild romps is stress. I want to scoff at the idea that anyone in a position of power actually does any work instead of delegating it to some poor subordinate, but I'm resisting the urge. And what exactly does your job involve? Feel free to stop by my office in the Enclave of the Gods and find out. Jesus Christ! I can let you take a look at all the organizational documents for this year's Dread Festival if that would help you. His warm grin twists my stomach with something very different to my earlier fear. That would be great, thank you. There's nothing to thank me about, we're on the same side. A knock sounds from the door, breaking us away from our session. The Terra's eyes moved from the door to me, his pursed lips as he steps away from it. For a man so famous for his control, he sure had no problem giving it all away. I half expected him to answer before I blinked. Come in. Door creaks open and I find myself looking at a handsome, lead silver-haired elf who offers the Terra a low bow. Allura? You're needed in the square to help set up the fire dancing festival, Natura. Of course, I'll be right there. Though I'm annoyed by the interruption, I nod my head when Terra's gaze returns to me. I'll see you at the fire dancing, investigator. Do you have an appropriate clothes for the event? I find myself caught off guard by the question. I'll have some sent to your room before tonight, then. Are you always buying strangers a whole new wardrobe? Usually only ones that ask nicely. His grin stirs in me something fierce. Natura! I'm coming, Allura! Oh? Oh, that's the end of the demo! Alright, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I didn't expect these men to be so slutty. I didn't expect. I mean, I'm looking at him. I should have. I should have, but I was trying not to base on appearances. God. All right, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Yeah, that one's probably gonna end up going on my wish list. Like I said at the beginning, this one is currently like it has a Kickstarter, So, if for some reason you happen to have disposable income, you're one of the lucky bastards that does, and you want to support this, go for it. We need more of this. Yeah, wow. Wow. All right. How do oh, there we go. Okay. Hang on, no, wait. CG gallery. That's great. That's beautiful. Well, I guess that's that one. Oh, let's go over here for now. Let's see. Let's see. Do I have another one for the night? Or is that one gonna be a solo? Let me see what else I got. Yeah, you know what, gamers? I think I might just end it here for that one. I am already a little bit tired, and that was a really, really fun one, but I don't know that I've got enough energy to go through a whole nother demo. So, you know what that means? It means it's time to find someone to raid before Bezos tries to make me run ads again, because I know the bastard's about to do it. I know the motherfucker is. So let's see, where are we gonna go hang out? So, today was Spell Candle. Tomorrow's Sunday. That's my sleepy day. That's my night-night day. That's the day where I get to clean my apartment and do absolutely nothing else. Maybe I will pop up. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Just don't count on it. I still have to make my schedule for next week, though. That's my only real thing I have to do tomorrow. Besides that... let's see. Let's go say hi to Captain Cube. He's playing Mega Man. Mega Man 6. I don't know much about Mega Man, but I know it's one of Cube's favorite games, and he can probably play it blindfolded. So if you got questions about Mega Man, you're going to the right place. But for everything else, I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope you sleep tight. Don't let the bed button bite. You know the drill. Thank you all so much for keeping me company. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you soon, okay?